Hey guys, have you heard about Bariatric Monthly? It's a bariatric subscription box of samples delivered to you monthly. The subscription takes the guesswork out of choosing bariatric-friendly food, supplements and protein powders, and it allows you to try products before you buy them. All samples are carefully selected by our bariatric dietitian based on nutrition, taste and suitability for weight loss surgery patients. You can get $5 off the August box at the moment using the code AUG17. That's AUG17. Visit www.bariatricmonthly.com to sign up today. Hey guys, welcome to Changing Our Ways. It is episode 12 and guess what? We have no Grant today, but we have a replacement. We have our first co-host and I will let her introduce herself.
Hi guys, it's Alice Blows here. All of you know me as Alice Blows off Instagram. I was on episode...
Oh God.
A little while ago with my story and a couple of questions, and I've come back to answer some more questions about mostly my fitness sort of journey and the fitness side of my weight loss.
Yes, but as usual, before we actually get into the episode, we like to talk about a couple of things which is going on in the world. First of all, how have you been this week?
I've been not bad. I've been sort of getting over my media sort of storm that happened with me. I was on Sunrise last Thursday. I would not recommend it to anybody. It was a bit of a nightmare. I bought hair extensions and didn't get paid for it, but that's a bit of a learning curve.
I think it's the questions that were put at you. Like, I remember watching it and I was a bit sad to see almost the 3 questions I asked you were related, and I felt one of them was actually really unnecessary and it could have been worded better, and it was how did you let yourself go? And that's what upset me, because you've already been through the whole, story about where you started and where you are now. Is there any need to bring that up without you making you feel like shit?
Yeah, and it was the way she ordered it, like the way she worded it. She took a good 30 seconds to sort of reword this, and then I sort of stood there in disbelief at her, and I was sort of like, how do I answer this morning television appropriately? I was sort of like, well, do I just make a really quick answer because I've been asked on the spot, or do I get really honest here and say, like, I had crippling depression and I was eating thousands of calories a day in my room on my own? What am I supposed to answer this way?
No. Well, we move on from it. What's done is done. You pick yourself up and you dust yourself off, and
totally, like,
life's all about lessons, and that's another one learnt. And look, I'm proud of you. I know your story. I know where you've come from, and yes. So my topic of this week, and I'm sorry guys, I am going to get a little political. I don't really like doing politics, but this week's been very important for me to sit and observe about the marriage equality rally that's going on at the moment. So this is my non-weight loss topic. I'm very strong about this topic. I do have a lot of friends who are in the community who believe that marriage equality should be a fair go given to everyone. And I know Alice is on the same page as me with this. So 2 out of 3 Australians believe everyone should be treated equally by our country's marriage laws. And I believe a lot of it's about fairness. So fairness and equality are a huge part of our society. And I do believe that our laws should reflect these values and make us most proud. I mean, we're a country that follows America and they have it there. There are smaller countries and more religious countries, especially predominantly Catholic areas, where they have it legal. I just want to see my friends be happy and have the same rights that I do. I want there to be fairness. To me, love is love. If you love someone and you want to be with them and you want to marry them, that's something sacred between you two. The fact that the ATO recognises same-sex couples through tax returns pisses me off, because you're taxing them just like every other married couple, but you won't let them sign a piece of paper to say that they can live happily ever after. And that's what really annoys me. What do you feel about it?
I'm 100% with you there. Like, love is love, and if a man can marry a woman, why can't a man marry a man and a woman marry another woman? Like, I don't know why it's taken this long for them to even have to reach this sort of doing the whole send out the question thing. I think they should just make the change already.
My thing is as well, like, I understand if people don't like it. I get that. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and there's a lot of stuff going on Facebook at the moment, but I don't like it when people are shoving it in my face about it's okay to say no. To me, it's a huge thing for us, and we should all be rallying together and celebrating it and pushing it through. There are people that don't like it and don't want to do it. That's fine. Just keep scrolling. There's no need to put malicious posts up about it, saying, it's okay to say no, we need to stand up. I've actually removed 3 people off my friends list this week.
Yep,
based on that.
I've removed 2. And people that I didn't even know were anti-gay marriage, people that had absolutely no idea. And they changed their profile pictures to that little border thing that it said, it's okay to say no. And I just went, nah. So, yeah.
It's okay for me to
it's okay for me to unfriend you and never talk to you again. Yes.
But that is my non-weight loss subject for the week. I hope you guys have all enrolled if you are able to. And I hope that we all do have a voice to be able to change this in future and bring our society and our country to a position where we are on the same level as others, and let people be happy. Let them have their happily ever after. Let them love who they want to love. That's it. Anywho, back on with the show. It's your show today.
Hey, it's very exciting.
So we're going to be leading all your stuff today.
Yep. Alrighty.
So you're the co-host, so you get to say what you want to say.
Oh, awesome. Well, should we start with some of the questions and then sort of expand from there?
Yeah, so we put a post out during the week. Alice put it out on her Instagram as well. It was more of a Q&A to get your questions answered by Alice. Now, I know previously we've done an interview. It was more us directing questions at her. But these have come from you guys. And we've been through and we've filtered a few of them. And we're going to ask them to her because a lot of them are about the subject that we wanted to talk about, which was really what happens after surgery, about working out, getting them gains, and about your diet and stuff afterwards. Yep. So the first question came from Just Get Moving Now. Yep. So this is from Instagram. And she said, how do you start your fitness journey? And if you get off the train track, how do you stay on? I've been having a hard time starting up.
Right. Firstly, as a disclaimer, I am not a personal trainer. I learn everything from Googling how to hold dumbbells and Instagram booty bitches with those rubber band things around their thighs. And they always do this thing where they like lift their leggings up over their ass before they start a video, which I'm yet to do in my workout videos, so keep an eye out. But in regards to sort of starting the journey, initially when I went for my surgery, I was like, yep, this is a massive lifestyle thing. Start up the gym. It'll help move the weight along, help the excess skin. So that's what I did. At 6 weeks post-op, I got the okay from my surgeon to join the gym and just start some really light cardio and light weight-bearing exercises. So that's what I did. I joined my local gym down the road and I started going 2 or 3 times a week. I just did sort of like bit of stuff on the bike and a couple of light exercises. So it wasn't really with anything in mind with massive goals, but it was just sort of to get myself used to the gym and used to the environment. And that's my number one. So get into an environment that you feel comfortable with, get friendly with the staff, find a personal trainer that you really like and can connect with. When I first joined the gym, I was set up with a personal trainer, as most people are when they first join a gym. And I was terrified. Like, this was this like mega hot, mega ripped little woman. And I was like, I feel intimidated to sit on this machine next to you. So I freaked out halfway through the session and went and hid. But it kind of proves that regardless of what you're doing, you need to keep the goal in mind. So I went and freaked out halfway through this session. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing at a gym? But I sort of need to remind myself, like, being at the gym is going to help me in the long run. It's going to freak me out at first and I'm not going to feel comfortable. But I'm going to get more comfortable and this place will become my home, which it did. I first joined the gym and did this leg extension thing with my elbows. So that, like a leg extension with your leg underneath the bar. I was doing it with my forearm, doing like a bicep curl.
Like, oh, this is really light. This is amazing.
It took 8 weeks of the staff looking at me and judging me and laughing at me until they were like, oh, better tell the poor lass.
Do you know what's funny though? The first time I ever went to the gym, I full on decked myself out in active gear. I think I was I was literally a walking Kmart store.
Oh, for my sunrise video, they were like, oh, can you just get on the treadmill and run for a little bit and we'll film you? Number one, I don't run. So I was on the treadmill for 8.5 minutes running for, at a decent pace. And this guy was like, oh, just a few more angles. And I was dying on the inside. So in that video, I was actually sweating my fucking balls off.
Number 2. So this is from Allergic to Sugar. So we know Tara.
Yes.
And she has wrote, how do you balance your mental health and physical goals? I find I push myself so hard and then berate myself too. And I'm trying to find that middle ground.
This was really, really hard for me at first. So when I finally got really into the gym, it became an exercise addiction. So I talked about this in the last podcast.
What's a podcast?
Oh, you don't want to know.
You need some more coffee.
Oh boy, I think that's where the Pocos comes from.
I was like, Pocos? Okay, mate, no worries. Anyway, yep.
So getting that line between not having an exercise addiction and just working out because it makes you feel good was really hard for me. So I started really training hard in about October of last year, just before my tummy tuck, because I really wanted to lose as much fat as I could before I had my stomach skin removal. That's when I started doing 3 or 4 hours cardio a day plus weight. So I was in the gym the majority of my awake hours.
I'm nervous about mine.
It was terrifying for me. Yeah.
I'm honestly, mine's in February. And I know I've got a bit to go yet. But it's like every now and then I'll get this wave of shit.
Yeah, that was me.
It's coming.
And also, I had my surgery, I think it was 12 days, with 12 days notice, because I went and saw my surgeon and he was like, yeah, cool, I've got a spot on this day. And then I haven't got anything for about 3 months. So I just had to do it then and there. So in the lead up to my surgery, I basically, it's not advisable, but I basically stopped eating and I was working out all the time to try and lose as much weight as I could and as much visceral fat to get the best results possible and the flattest stomach.
No. Well, I guess this is part of the journey where everyone's different. I know with sleeve or bypass or band or whatever, everyone kind of goes through the same thing. With plastics, it's different.
It is so different.
Because everyone's getting different things done and everyone has different results. No one looks like each other. And I guess that's what makes me nervous. And it doesn't help that I've been watching stupid shows like Botched and reading stuff on the internet and worrying that I'm going to go get an extended tummy tuck and come out with a third breast.
Oh, like on The Simpsons when Krusty wakes up with a boob job and it's like, I didn't say anything about the boobs.
Literally, that's what I'm worried about. I'm going to wake up.
I was terrified as well. I actually went into my tummy tuck without seeing any before and after photos from my surgeon. So I had my tummy tuck done by my bariatric surgeon. So it wasn't actually done as plastics. It was done as a general surgery, which is why my incision line is so high. So a lot of people ask that. So my incision line is so high because it wasn't actually a plastic surgery. It was just a nip and tuck. I didn't pay excessively. I just paid to get the skin cut off, got a new belly button out of it. That was kind of cool. Got my tattoo removed and then replaced, sort of. Also cool. But I didn't go through with a plastic surgeon. So that's why my incision is so high, and that sort of answers the question for a lot of you all.
Yeah. Well, that was one question I had for you when we first started talking. I was like, mate... Actually, I remember talking to you when you were in hospital, when you got done, because I remember talking to our little friend Corinna.
Oh, yes.
Little band to bypass.
Yes.
And remember her putting a post out saying that you were going in.
Yeah.
And that's really when we started talking, but I'd already been following your journey. I was just too scared to send you a message and hey.
Why are people so scared to talk to me? When I first joined uni, I had people messaging me at the end of the week saying they'd saw me and didn't want to come and talk to me. I was like, what? Was I eating? Do I look that scary when I eat?
You're a social media influencer.
Oh my God. No.
Wait till you get your little blue star, mate.
Oh, I'm so keen. So, the next one is Time Tea Olive.
I think that's time to live, mate.
Yep. I studied at TAFE. Yes, Instagram superstar. As someone about to enter my journey and keen to minimise some excess skin issues where possible, note it is to minimise, I'm a realist. I'm keen to ask Alice's advice on how to go about trying to minimise this. So what sort of exercise and training, how soon to start, and her thoughts of the best opinion on the opinion that the gym isn't the best place for weight loss people in the first 6 months after surgery. So like I said before, I started the gym 6 weeks after my surgery, purely just so my incisions had all healed up and were all closed.
I was like 12 months, I think.
I
was lazy. I realised after a while I had to get off my butt and do something.
Yeah, for me it was the sooner I got into it, the sooner I'd learned to love. Because I hated it first. I first joined that gym and I was like, what are all these meatheads doing? But I learned to love it over a couple of months and now it's like my second home. But for minimising the skin, so my arms are actually still pretty nasty, but my stomach skin wasn't anywhere as bad as I thought it was going to be because I really smashed out a lot of sort of like ab crunches and sit-ups. So you're going to look like a bit of a tosser at the gym doing these things and it's probably expected of you. But just do it, put up with it. Just weight bearing. Don't do any cardio or do minimal cardio, which is probably what all of you are mostly doing is cardio. But in the long run, if you have higher muscle mass, you're going to have a higher metabolic rate. You're going to burn more calories and it's going to be more effective in the long run because you're filling up that excess skin with muscle. See a personal trainer and get a plan for some weight bearing exercises if you really need to. But as I do, I just turn to old mate, sort of Google, YouTube, Instagram basic bitch and find some weird exercises that look like they might do something for your good, and then just give it a go.
Do you know I hate the stair climber?
I love this. My new gym doesn't have a stair climber, and I was going to sue.
You should have seen me the first time I was on one.
Oh, I've stacked it almost every time.
I don't know why, but I was also squatting at the same time I was trying to do it. I think I was trying to get off the machine and it looked like I was shitting myself.
There's this one exercise that the girls do on Instagram where instead of stepping on the Stairmaster, they like do these like frog jumps up along the steps. Like that is just asking for a dislocated butthole. No. And like, what else do I hate at the gym? Oh, what's the thing? The Kath and Kim thing. Oh, the elliptical.
Whatever. Isn't it like a cross trainer thing? Yeah. Where one arm's like in sync with the other? Like if you could see me now, I'm like doing the actions and she's just shaking her head at me. But I hate that.
Churning butter or something.
It's because like I don't have any coordination.
Yeah.
And it's just like, do I just go like this?
I do that.
Or do I just do the whole Kath and Kim thing? One day I will as a dare, once I've got my plastics, I'll do the full gear. Like I'll get the leotard.
Matching leopard print onesies.
Yeah.
Cardio-wise, the best thing that I've found for me, now that I don't have a Stairmaster at my gym, is...
you got stairs at home?
Yeah, carpeted. I'm just going to get
friction
carpet burn all over my face. I already stack it once a day. I don't want to stack it anymore. Cardio-wise, probably one of the most effective things for me is just a fast walk on a treadmill with an incline. So an incline is going to help build your butt and get a big old booty. So just pop an incline on the treadmill and it gets your heart rate going a bit more and it really helps some strengthening exercises. So
I saw a video this week of someone's butt implant that went wrong and she could flip it around.
Don't get butt implants.
No, my God. No, best and less sell underwear which is padded, you know. Padded underwear so you can have a perfectly round butt.
Is that like the ones you can get with like a fanny imprint in them?
Yes! But these ones, like, they're full on, like, it's like a padded bra for your ass. Like, it really smooths it all out. But I don't need one because I think I actually have a nice bum. But
that'd be really deceiving. Like, what if you're gonna like get lucky and then you're like, oh, let me take off my extra booty undie.
It's like, where did that ass go?
It on the floor for $7.99. So the next question is from Nick6671. Hi, was the tummy tuck recovery extremely painful? If you had to do it all over again, would you? I'm looking into getting surgery myself due to excess skin.
It depends how bad it is, I reckon.
Yeah, so
you gotta be a realist.
Totally. Okay, so my bypass over getting my tonsils out. Bypass is an absolute walk in the park. Getting my tonsils out, would not recommend. Tummy tuck, at first it was fine because they smother you in like anesthetic and morphine and all the good stuff. But then I had an allergic reaction to morphine.
That's how you lost the weight, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
All the morphine and everything, according to all the articles on the internet.
How did she get off the weed, though? Idiots. The recovery was pretty gnarly, to be honest. The surgery itself was okay. I woke up feeling all right. It was all numb. I actually had bronchitis at the time of my tummy tuck, so I wouldn't recommend having a really bad cough when you've had all your stomach muscles cut and sewn up. But day 4, I coughed up a really nice bit of mucus. I think I snapped it to you, Shan. It was pretty bad. So just...
You're making me cringe.
Be in good health when you want to surgically get stuff removed from your body.
So not a lot of people know, but I do smoke. And my deadline is next month to stop. I've already been told that my surgeon will not touch me. We've recently seen one of our friends who is going through the access program. She could have had a date, but she was smoking, so he's told her she needs to stop and see him in October. So I guess it's good for both of us to kind of push on each other to get through that bit. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that people don't take into account when you're going for this stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we need to change in regards to habits. Like, yeah, we beat the food addiction, but there's other addictions. There's people that smoke. There's people that drink. You know, there's a lot of things out there, and I guess...
Like for me, it was turning to exercise as my addiction. A lot of people turn to alcohol after weight loss surgery, like drinking every night. Alcohol is obviously not advisable to have every night, but a lot of people will replace their food addiction and junk food addictions with having a couple of wines every night, which is obviously not going to help your weight loss, and it's also not exactly great for your body.
See, I'm weird now when I drink.
Yeah.
I can't. I just physically can't. Like, when we went out for Corinna's birthday, I was struggling to keep up. Like, I felt like I had my stomach, but above that, I felt like I had another pouch full of fluid that was either going to go down or come out of my mouth. And I struggle with it. Like, if I go out, like I said to Greg, I'm going to get, I'm going to go get drunk. I have one drink and I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't do it.
Since bypass, I now get drunk really quickly, but I also sober up really quickly. So I can have 2 or 3 drinks and be utterly sloshed. And then within 2 or 3 hours, I'm completely fine again. So it's sort of short-term fun.
See, I mean, we were talking in the car earlier and we were talking about, accountability and people still having restrictions. What are you, like, is your restriction still there even after your tummy tuck? Like, do you have a theory or anything about it?
I've been talking to a girl called RNY Mallory on Instagram who had her tummy tuck done, I think it's almost 2 years ago, and we've both sort of been talking about it, and it's probably got nothing to do with it, but we think that when they cut your tummy and do your muscle repair, it somehow does something to the nerves of your stomach or your bypass or your sleeve. Because since my tummy tuck, I have got useless restriction. I can eat a ridiculous amount of food. I no longer really have that full feeling after eating meals, which sucks. But it's also making me work a lot harder mentally, and it makes me feel a lot prouder after having a meal and thinking, I'm not actually full, but I know that I've eaten enough, and I know that I need to stop now. Or it's just going to become eating for the sake of eating and not eating to refuel my body.
That's like me with cheese. I always keep it in my fridge because, look, the last couple of weeks have been hard for me mentally. I've been struggling a lot, and I'm very vocal about it, and I'll always tell people because I don't like putting a fake persona representing me on social media, because it's not me. I want people to know the ins and outs. I want people to know it's okay to feel this way. It's okay that you're going through this, because I'm going through it too.
Yeah.
I would say the last 2 weeks I've done a lot of emotional eating. I've been turning to cheese a lot, which Grant's killing me for. But I've turned to cheese and onion chips this week as well. Like, it's going to sound gross. I literally buttered 2 pieces of bread. Took me an hour, but I put cheese and onion chips in a sandwich and ate them.
How is that gross? That's the
It's
best
like
thing
the
ever.
best thing. And then I was like, afterwards, I was like, I feel so guilty. I've just eaten 2 pieces of bread and
I'm
chips.
so raiding the pantry after this.
I felt guilty, but then afterwards I'm like, you know what? It's all about moderation. It's all about keeping yourself in check and realizing, yes, I slipped up, but that's okay because I know what I'm like normally, and I'm usually, as Grant told you earlier on, I'm usually very strict in what I actually eat.
Yep.
It was almost like old Shan was coming out saying, you're emotional, you're down.
It's the fear of next time, what if I eat more? Next time, what if I add a little bit more of this? And then it becomes a massive binge. See, for me, I have recently discovered a place called Daniel's Donuts.
Oh my God.
And it is a reason for 90% of my regain. So just a shout out to you guys. Thanks. But I had a single donut, and I felt so terrible afterwards. I wasn't dumping, but I just felt mentally really bad about myself. But I also needed to remind myself, how hard do I work out in the gym now? And one donut compared to how much I used to eat when I ate really badly, I used to smash down 12. And a family meal. And a small country. So it wasn't really... It's sort of coming to the realization that you should be able to let yourself have treats, and it actually, your body thanks you for giving these sort of refeeds every now and then because it resets your metabolism and keeps it pumping. Something else that I've been researching a bit recently is metabolic damage. And
what's that? It sounds scientific and sounds really intelligent.
Oh, I wish I could really truly explain it. But from what I understand, it's when people cut their calories and how much they eat so drastically that it actually stops your metabolism. So it's the reason for why a lot of people will stall with their weight loss, because your basic metabolic rate, for me, it sits at around 1,500 calories a day. So that's how much my body burns if I'm sitting on my ass all day. So for me, to be able to lose weight, I need to eat at least that much to keep my body moving. Otherwise, my body will just burn muscle. So for a lot of people that are straight out of weight loss surgery, who are only having 400, 500 calories a day, you're going to drop a lot of weight at first, but it's going to be all through muscle. And then in the long run, once you finally get into those final 10, 20 kilos, you're going to really struggle because your body's not going to know how to lose the weight because you're putting so little fuel in there. Think of it like a car. If you've got a car and you're only putting in like a litre of petrol, it's only going to run a little bit and it's not going to run as good as it should be.
I compare it to like a fire, like a furnace.
Yeah, that's a
like
lot better.
You got to start it up in the morning. You got to chuck some firewood in there, and you got to light it, and you got to keep it burning.
Yep.
I don't even get anywhere near. And look, I'll admit it. I don't even get roughly to about 1,200.
I'm smashing out 2,000, 2,500 calories a day purely because I know that it's helping me gain my muscle. And if I gain that bit of extra fat, which I have regained. I like to admit that. Hi, my name is Alice and I am a regainer. We know how to lose weight. What's so bad about having to gain a couple of extra kilos? If you've managed to also gain that muscle, it's so worth it. And I mentally feel more stable now. I'm not obsessing over things, knowing that I can now eat that little bit more and eat like a real human being. What's the big fuss about, a bit of regain? And people need to get over that. We're still hot.
The thing is, and it's been proven, your weight will never be that digit.
Yep.
It will never be, for me, 82.4.
Yep.
It will not stay at 82.4.
Yep.
It depends on what you've eaten for the day. It depends on how much water you've had, how active you are. You are always going to have, and I was talking to Justine about this, whose whole body halved recently. You are always going to be between a number. When your body gets to a position where it's like, yep, okay, you're eating the right food, I'm burning what you're eating, you're at a good level, you're always going to be between a certain number. So for me, I'm always going to be between 82 and 84 until I get my skin cut off. if my number goes down to 82.4 on the Monday and then I weigh myself on the Tuesday and I'm back up to 84, yes, I get disheartened because I'm like, how have I put 2 kilos on?
Oh, yeah.
But it's all about learning about numbers, learning about nutrition, learning. The thing that annoys me is people that chow down on protein all the time.
Yep.
Protein isn't everything. Yes, it is important for us, but it's not everything.
People that are afraid of carbs need to not be afraid. And this is coming from someone who used to be afraid to be in the same room as a loaf of bread. Since upping my carbs, I've gotten more strength, I've gotten more energy, my weight has maintained a lot better. Don't be so scared of carbs. Carbs are your main body's energy source. So if you are just packing yourself full of protein, enjoy the farts for one, but also you need those carbs to keep your body going with that energy in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where a lot of my tiredness has come from.
Yep.
And I think the other day when I just crashed and I ate that chip sandwich, I felt good afterwards. But it's just because people that listen know that I've been battling an eating disorder where I would eat and I would go throw it up because I'd feel guilty, even if it was healthy. I didn't like the fullness feeling. I'm past that now. I think I'm like 5-6 weeks purge free.
Yep.
My restriction has been super tight, obviously because I have been vomiting for such a long time. My muscles gotten smaller and smaller. So, of course, I've only had a little bit of room. So I've got to ease back into things. I put a post up during the week of my dinner, which was like 2 pieces of pork, some veggies, and some rice. I didn't touch the rice. I've had to learn to eat. Yes, you eat your protein first. Yes, eat some green, rich veggies.
Yeah, people need to start eating veggies. I see a lot of people that just post like meat and carb. Get some greens into you, for God's sake.
Greens are good.
Yeah.
Fibre. Make you go to the toilet. I struggle going to the toilet.
But like, you need them. What did your mum teach you? Eat some broccoli. Okay, broccoli is not great. It tastes pretty bad.
You give Archie your broccoli. You can't.
I feed my dog broccoli, so he's actually looking pretty good with his physique right now.
He's going to Arnold.
Archie and the Arnold. Oh my God. But eat a balanced diet. Treat yourself. It's just food. Me, I used to have this perpetual fear if I was at a friend's place or a party and there was some junk food, I would have to make sure I demolished it. Because I'd have this fear of like, what if it all goes? What if there's none left after a while? What if I don't get any?
My thing is I came from a family where very, very early on money was very scarce. Yep. And when we would have roast dinners and stuff like that, meat and food would be piled on your plate. Yep. And you were not allowed to leave the table until the plate was finished. I've always had that conception in my head that I have to finish everything on that plate. Even if I'm full, I have to put everything in my mouth. I can't
waste food. I feel so bad if I'm at a restaurant and I can't finish it off. I will carry a Tupperware container in my bag and just smuggle it back home. Because if I'm paying for a full meal, I'm going to at least trade as much as I can and then take home and at least give it to my dog. I don't want them to throw it out.
Well, Woolworths are making a decent profit off me and Grant at the moment with those little containers. They're perfect for us because, like, I made lasagna last week, and with lasagna, you can't make a mini lasagna. You have to make a massive one. And I'm really clever. Grant doesn't eat vegetables, and I can say this because he's not here. But I substitute usually the pasta sheets with eggplant. He can't taste the difference.
How can you not tell? It's not.
He can't tell. I cut the skin off so you can't see the skin.
Very disappointed.
And then I use my mandolin and I slice it and I layer it. And he's eaten it before.
And he doesn't know.
No.
Now he knows, and now he's never going to eat your lasagna.
He will eat it though because he can't taste it, and that's the thing. Like, Grant had this huge fear about vegetables and the way they look. Like, he never understood why I get excited over salads. And I'm like, because there's so many different things you can do. And then he never got the vegetables. Like, I'm like, some days I just want to get a wok and just shove some veggies in there with some soy sauce. Like,
Colour is a good thing. Have you ever tried to Instagram just meat and carb? It doesn't look good. This is why you do these things. Like, visually appealing food is going to give you a happy tummy.
Well, the portion perfection actually highlighted, now that we have a small space for food, we have to become food critics.
Oh, yeah.
You need to put it in your mouth. You need to chew it. You need to taste everything and just enjoy it rather than eating it and being like, what's next, what's next, and what's next. Just
I can't
take your
eat
time.
for the sake of eating. If something's like, if I make something for myself and I have a bite and I'm like, nah, I don't like this, I actually won't eat it. I'll make something else and have something else because I'm not going to waste a meal and waste my tummy space on something that tastes mediocre.
No.
Hey everyone, just let me interrupt the girls for a moment. I just wanted to remind you all about our friends over at Cost Price Supplements. Get over there and get your bariatric supplement needs, as well as your non-bariatric supplement needs, as they do everything pretty much over there. And you'll get 15% off if you use our promo code WLSFamily. So take advantage of that while you can and get everything that you need from the guys at Cost Price Supplements. They do everything they do over there is fantastic. So make sure you get over there and take advantage of this great deal while we have it. All right, let's get back to the show and listen to the girls.
All right, I think we got the last question.
Hey, we got the last one from formerly Chubby Hubby.
Good old Nick.
Mate, how many chin-ups can you do? I ask the tough questions. I can't do chin-ups. I can do them with that, like, bigger lucky band thingy, and then it always springs up and, like, hits me where my dick would be if I had one. But, I can't do chin-ups. I'm not quite there. I can do this thing. They actually use this video on the Daily Mail article where, like, I hold onto the bars and I, like, swing my legs around like MacGyver. I'm really good at that. Doesn't actually do any muscle strengthening, but you look like a boss in the gym when you do it. So, no chin-ups, soz mate.
But you're good at doing sit-ups.
Oh, yeah. I'm also really good at not knowing how to adjust the bench, like, angle at this new gym, so I'm sort of doing sit-ups while, like, on a very decline, so I'll sort of just lay there for a bit, wait the blood to get to my head, and then do some sit-ups, and then wait till I feel a bit less lightheaded.
That happens a lot. I know. So thank you everyone for your questions. I'm going to move on to a topic for Alice to discuss. We did touch on it briefly. We all know that recently she was on Sunrise, and we know that it wasn't really the way that she wanted it to go. How's your honest feeling about it?
I'm with the whole... So what happened is Thursday, 2 weeks ago, I had somebody on Facebook message me a Facebook link, and it was like, oh, congratulations, found this article, you know, they've done a really good job. And I was like, what the hell is this? So someone from the Daily Mail had done an article without my permission. They had shared my surname, which is something that I'd always really wanted to hide, just as a privacy thing and as a respect to my parents. I don't want people to have to know my surname and stalk me out.
I do, though.
Yeah, well, you're worth it. I'll happily accept your stalking, baby. But so they made this article about me. It didn't actually have any content written by the journalist. It was just all my Instagram photos and a whole lot of quotes and videos and stuff from my blog. They'd even taken some quotes from my last podcast,
which we discussed because I wasn't happy about that the fact that they'd listened to it and pulled stuff out that we'd only discussed on the podcast.
Yep.
And that's where we knew it had come from.
So I'm thankful that they managed to say that I had a gastric bypass, because in a lot of these articles they will say that people have had the lap band.
I had a band, apparently.
Yeah.
And Grant, like, it was translated into a weird language on other sites, and apparently Grant was my dad. Apparently I'd given up drugs to lose weight.
Oh, everybody says that about me all the time.
Well, I read some of the comments and someone was like, oh, you gave up weed. I'm like...
People like... How did her tattoo move? Did she get more tattoos? How did the tattoo shrink? Maybe because I lost a freaking human person in size. So I had this article written about me. Wasn't too impressed.
What about the Mr. Bean picture?
Oh, yeah. This, like, Ethiopian, Scandinavian, something ethnic, like, basically posted, like, a translation of that article, and they added this, like, Mr. Bean photo of just Mr. Bean eating chicken. I have never related to something so much in my life. So I really wish I could understand what the article said, because I commend them. Good job there. Good job of actually capturing me without just copying everything off my Instagram.
Yeah, I loved it. It was weird. It was all this. I remember looking at it and I'm like, why is there a gif of Mr. Bean eating chicken? Like,
that's me. It's just me.
But I get it. I mean, we've done the media stuff before, and look, there is a lot of pressure. And for those that are listening that have lost a lot of weight, be prepared, because the media pry on people like us because they know that we're vulnerable. They know that we've been, what's the nice way to say it? We've been outcast for a long time. We haven't been a part of society. I'm putting that in brackets.
But also a lot of people out there in the weight loss community, they want publicity out of this. They want to sort of get this fame and 15 minutes of fame out of all this. I don't want that. I just want people to know weight loss surgery isn't easy. You've got to work. It's going to be with me forever. And I just want people to see what it's really like for us. So I had this article written about me on the Thursday. I got an email on the Friday from Sunrise saying, "Hi Alice, read your article. Let's have a chat about getting you on the show." I was like, hell yeah, get my hair and makeup done. Sign me up. I then, the next Wednesday, had to go to my gym and do some workout videos, which was the most awkward thing of my life. My old gym manager was just staring at me the whole time, making these ridiculous faces while I was doing these exercises I've never actually done before.
Do you know what I love, though? That you always call that gym your home, because that's where you, like, in a nice way, that's where you became... Alice Blows.
So I've moved out of home over the past month and I've moved to a different area. So I've actually had to leave my original gym, which was Snap Fitness Camberwell. And when I went in to sign my cancellation forms, I cried. This is where all the hard work's gone in. And also the staff at Snap Fitness, they're the people that have watched me with my journey, and they've been there to support me and show me, you know, how to properly do a leg extension without your elbows. And,
you want to be a contortionist? Here, I'll show you.
How to dislocate yourself in 3 simple steps. But like, that was my home. And also that is where I've met some of the most important people in my life. That's where I learned that fitness isn't just about looking good. Fitness is about getting that mindset right, working hard, and enjoying fitness for fitness sake, not just go to the gym, sweating, going home, seeing it as a chore. So moving gyms, I don't like my gym. I'm just going to say that now, because I don't feel welcome. Even as someone who isn't overweight anymore, I still feel judged. I have people looking at my excess skin. I had someone make a comment about my excess skin at my first visit at this gym.
I remember that.
I went and cried in the bathroom for an hour and a half after that. I'm someone who has lost 70 kilos. I have excess skin. I don't really appreciate someone looking at your arm skin and saying, "Oh yeah, I can see that you've lost the weight. You've got a considerable amount of skin there." That cut me. That really ruined my mental state, and I still see that person at the gym and I have to fight back tears every time, because even just those words from that person, it makes you feel worthless.
I have to say, like, going back to the whole media thing, because you were talking about how they came to the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I watched the interview, my heart sank for you, because I know you personally outside the community. And to see your face drop, I was like, that question cut her. Yeah. And I was upset at the fact that you didn't get the opportunity or the experience that I got when I did media. Like, I went on there, obviously, the competitor's show, which is the Today Show. But it was a completely different ball game for me, because they actually talked to us about it and wanted to understand the process and wanted to understand, you know, what is life like now afterwards. There was no shame. There was no, oh, look, another weight loss surgery story. Yep, we'll chuck you in here. It was more like Georgie and David Campbell actually came off the set to talk to us beforehand. Then we talked on set, and then we talked afterwards. It made us feel these people actually did want to listen and wanted to know where we came from. Yeah. The media pressure for this community is real, and people who are vulnerable and, like you said, want that 15 minutes of fame are going to get pried on. I've done a lot of media based on the fact that I've been crowdfunding. Each bit of media that I've done where I've had a small payout, everything's gone into my kitty. Mm-hmm. It's not me trying to get fame across the world. It's me trying to put my message out there that there are a lot of people in my position where they have been at that high weight. And look, some of their skin bounces back, and I envy you for that.
Yeah.
Mine hasn't, and I'm here to educate and show people that, look, this is what my skin looks afterwards, but come along with me as I go on my next part of my journey. I'm really upset that you didn't get that experience.
Yeah, so obviously on the Wednesday before the live TV thing, we went to the gym, and then he came back to my house and videoed me making a smoothie and walking through a doorway and doing all other ridiculous stuff.
At least you weren't looking for a book or making a fake phone call like they do on a current affair. He
made me put a banana in my smoothie though. He was like, can you just... Number one, he made me who cuts up a banana before
you just broke it and...
Yeah, no. He was like, can you just cut it up into like these pieces and then put it in? And then, oh no, you've done it too quickly, take it out. Nah, I am not an actress for that reason precisely. But he made me... So, filmed all that stuff. And then I had a call saying, yep, we'll be round at your place at about 6:45 Thursday morning. Be ready to go. And I was like, cool.
Not even your hair and makeup.
No hair and makeup. I put my Kathmandu jacket on because it was raining and I was standing in the rain. And didn't have any makeup done or anything. These two blokes just arrived in a van. And
I liked Archie made an appearance.
Oh, I wish. I should have just... I don't know.
Archie's going to teach you how to bulk.
Yeah, exactly. Eat all the broccoli. And then I was, as soon as they arrived, I was like, can I just get a list of the questions they're going to ask me just so I can prepare myself? And they were like, oh, no, we'll just do it all on the spot. It's all good.
See, mine was different. They gave me a list.
At that point, I was like,
because I when we did ours, when they gave me a list, I said, nah, I don't want to answer that. Can you reword it to this? Because I was all about... I'd been on, like, same thing with you. Articles had gone up first and then they contacted. Yeah. And it was people saying, oh, another surgery, took the easy way out. And I'm like, mate, if you had been in my shoes for a couple of days, you wouldn't last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it was... I don't even understand half the questions they asked me. So, firstly, I didn't get to meet Koshi or Sammy before the thing. I didn't even get to see them. I just had this little earpiece in my ear and I just had to look up the barrel of the camera. I got asked 3 or 4 questions.
I think it was 3, I think.
One of them was, well, they first started the section by being like, Alice Tolman weighed 135 kilos. The way that they worded that was very disrespectful, especially for people that have started their journeys at a much heavier weight. How dare they? How dare they say that sort of thing? Like, 135.
Can you imagine if it was mine? It'd be like, oh my God, 179!
Like, we're not selling couches here. Like, come on. But so there was one question.
Where's Dick Smith? Oh, or we need the guy from the National Tiles ad. Alice Tolman, 135 kilos. Unbelievable.
Lucky inflatable arm man. But they asked this. So they asked 3 questions. They were all basically the exact same question, just reworded. The first one was like, how do you feel? Obviously, I feel quite good. I haven't taken a dump yet today, but that's all right. I've been up since 6 o'clock waiting for you guys. But
I can't believe you were out in the rain.
And I was standing out in the rain with no makeup or hair. But
you still looked good.
Oh, Thin Lizzy. It was all the Thin Lizzy. They asked that question. They were like, how do you feel? How did your parents feel about it? And I'm like, obviously they were supportive. And then the last question, Sam took a good 30 to 40 seconds to ask. And she was sort of like, how did you let yourself go this far?
See, that's where I saw your face drop.
I took a whole lot of screenshots from the video and you could see, like, resting bitch face was in to stay from that point onwards. And they were basically like, how'd you let yourself go like that? And a
proper journalist would not need to ask that question.
And obviously, because I'd been asked on the spot as well, I was a bit taken aback. So I think my answer was basically like, self-respect. I had no self-respect. It's all about how you value yourself as a person, which is true. But honestly, I wanted to be like, I had crippling depression. I was eating thousands of calories a day, but you don't want to know about that sort of thing on, morning television. You just want to know about the happy side of everything.
But sometimes there isn't happy sides to this stuff. And
Not-
that's what
yeah.
people... And that's why, you know, we've had this talk where weight loss surgery is labelled as having the easy way out because there are people in the community that... I wouldn't even say they're a part of our community. They actually go and get it done.
Yep.
And expect it to do all the work and it doesn't. And then 2 years down the line, they've put it all back on.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, it's failed me. And it's like, no, you kind of failed yourself.
Yeah.
You needed the discipline, you needed the restriction, you needed to have some sort of self-worth, and you don't have it.
Yeah. So from the Facebook article, obviously you can make comments, and there was a lot of people saying things like, "Oh, well, I've lost 60 kilos on my own."
Naturally.
So
I have too.
I replied as well, and I'm like, amazing. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations. However, I needed that extra assistance, and I'm not ashamed to say that. So that's fantastic. You managed to lose your weight. Good on you. Go treat yourself. But I needed that extra assistance, and that's what worked for me. And in the end, to lose weight, you do what's best for you.
I'm just going to say this, and look, people are probably going to think, Shan, you're a fucking idiot. I hate it when people say that I've lost it naturally. In a way,
I actually
I
hire
have-
minions. Yeah, I've got little minions that work underneath my skin and just take those little fat cells out day by day. They're very expensive.
we have done it naturally. Yes, we've been given a tool, and I might sound like an idiot, but I haven't done pills.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not doing shakes. I've got a restriction.
Yeah.
So I can limit the amount of food I eat. To me, that is natural.
And you still have that capability of being able to stretch that stomach out.
Exactly. It's not
there's
like I've
nothing
gone and got
stopping
it all lipoed.
No. Oh, also people that made these comments on my Facebook thing saying like, oh, the wonders of plastic surgery.
Can you cut 70 kilos of skin off?
Because if I sign me up, that sounds fantastic. But you can't lipo 70 kilos, you dickheads.
Look, again, media are going to pride themselves on our community. It's how they get their filler stories in. And Alice has had her experiences. I know there's a few others. There's Kira who's done the Today Show. There's Charlene that's done the Today Show. I'm just trying to think who else there is. There's a few people in magazines. There is one that was in a magazine this week, but I'm not going to talk about that because I actually got a bit angry about it.
Ooh. I've been approached by a number of magazines since the Sunrise thing, and I'm still yet to reply because A, it's not really worth my time, and B, I don't want to have to deal with the hate that I get from these things. I do get a lot of positive comments back, but why do I want to waste my time getting my story published in a newspaper or a magazine if I'm just going to get the same sort of comments and people being so close-minded about weight loss surgery?
Guess what time it is? Do you know? It's Shan's social shout out. So each week I pick someone from our Instagram world who has inspired me or the community. So this lady in particular, she's probably one of the most positive people I've seen on Instagram. And I know for the past week she's let that guard down. She's even said, you know, I'm not used to being sad. I'm a very positive person. Mind you, this lady has lost an incredible 116 kilos. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that she's always positive. I love that she sends me messages when I'm down to perk me back up, like this week. I love that she is finally being able to do what she wants to do. I know that she's going through a tough time at the moment. Love that she does all of her hair and her makeup and her dresses all pin-up style. Very envious of that. But I'm just proud of her as a person and who she's evolved to be. And I'm thankful that I'm able to be a part of her journey. And my social shout out this week goes to Hopeful Ray of Sunshine.
Yay!
So thank you very much. We're probably going to end it here because I've got a busy day.
Bacon.
Yeah, we've got to go make those omelettes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you'll probably hear Grant's voice during the podcast. He'll be announcing the sponsor details. But it's been weird not talking to Grant. I've actually kind of liked having someone else to talk to.
Grant. I'm moving in.
You can sleep in Nala's bed.
Oh, slide me up.
Thank you so much, guys. So the next, not the next episode, the episode afterwards, we have another interview. So that'll be really exciting. We're going to put out a questionnaire this week for what the next topic me and Grant should discuss next week. Apart from that, I hope you all have a lovely week. Thank you so much, Alice, for guest hosting with me.
Thank you for having me. This has been an awesome experience.
Thanks, mate. This has been Changing Our Ways, signing off.